Yeah. Then they could ever see my heart. Vegas is how it'll always be.
Keep us together, hope it's worth a try. You ain't always been the angel, but heaven's on our side.
That's right.
I got my demons too, I know just how you feel. You can be real with me, that's why you're still with me. Can't hide behind a canvas on the dime. I don't even care if you lie to me, cause there ain't much that gets by me these days. I say I do just to say I don't give me no reason to go through your phone. This is deeper than me, you another one. This is daddy issue, messages, but another.
Yo, Lucky Lefty podcast. We lit. Next level.
Yeah. I like that.
Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. The premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. The ONORA boys in the building, SU2 mics. Malik
We might have to
ZAIRE.
pour up some ONORA to this now.
Yes, sir.
Happy hour music.
Yo, we're lit. This is what we're doing. Thank you to our resident DJ, Jay Illa out of Chicago. You know, he's the one that did the mix up or the mash up for the Petty Train. I told him to give me some stuff for our transitions and our intros. Just a tidbit. Follow him at Jay Illa, Twitter and Instagram. That's what he does, man. Hey, Lef, you like the intro mixes, baby?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Look, this is only upgrade. You know, it's 2024. We're not taking steps backwards. Just like Notre Dame, we only moving forward. You know what I mean?
Only moving forward. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CFB Nation, audio edibles each and every day. Lock in with us, man. We appreciate all your support. Go to their YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, and then the notification bell. Let that be lit as well. So every time we go live or post a video, like our Deuce Night video we posted, also our Riley Leonard video we posted up on YouTube. Go check them out right now. And then, hey, our merchandise is right under.
Yeah, it's right there. You can't miss it.
Can't miss it, man. It's right underneath every YouTube video. We have everything, our 3 lines. We got the 1842 line. We got the Lucky Lefty logo line and the Spin It Different line and the gritty, the leprechaun gritty t-shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt. Go get it now. Lucky Lefty podcast.
We got enough for all types of weather conditions. You know, for the hot, the cold, the inside. We're about to drop the pajamas soon. I'm telling you.
Oh, you want the flannels, the walking shorts, the pajama shorts?
You don't have to just wear the flannel pajamas during Christmas. You like them LL flannels all year round.
Absolutely, man. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast, home of the misguided passion, and forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. So I got the Illa. Thank you for the mixes, man. He's going to keep them coming for us. And, you know, shout out to him. As I said before, we have an interview coming up with him over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. He is one of only 22 DJs worldwide that work for the NFL. Chicago's own.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, he's a Chicago Bears DJ for every home game. Every home game and some of their events. He is the exclusive DJ for the Chicago Bears. Jay, look, I've never been. This is gonna sound crazy, Left, as I rock my White Sox gear. Shout out to the White Sox spring training opening up all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a White Sox fan, but I'm a Dodgers fan until the White Sox get their act right. Does that make sense?
Hey, you got some residency coming for LA.
Yeah,
so it's
I do. That's true. So I'm a Dodgers fan until the White Sox get their act right. Matter of fact, the owner of the White Sox has the nerve to be down in Springfield talking to legislators today, trying to get $1 billion for a new stadium
No,
when
he's not.
he won't even invest in the team that he has right now. But he wants $1 billion from
Yeah.
taxpayers of Illinois to build a new
Yeah.
stadium. That's the
You see
foolishness
how
we
they do
have.
you. You see how they do you, man.
That's the type of foolishness we deal with, man. So, yo, as always, man, we thank you guys for joining us. And yo, Left, you already know what's smoking. What's smoking? Brought to you by Fashion Geek, AlonzoJackson.com. Fashion Geek, we run the city. So, 4-star offensive tackle MATTY Augustine has committed to Notre Dame. And, you know, when I sent Left the notification, Left was like, hell yeah. And then his next comment was, man, how many kids can we take in this class?
Yeah, straight up. I mean, every time we talk, we got another commit or another offer out there. I'm like, man, we treating it like it's anybody can get one.
So with that, you know, Left, you got a chance to watch his film, and we're going to jump into the film of this young man, MATTY Augustine, Brunswick School, Greenwich, Connecticut. Yes, I said it correctly, Greenwich, Connecticut. How do I know that? Because I'm a big WWF fan from back in the day. I always knew how to pronounce Greenwich. Left tackle, Brunswick. He joins his teammate Ethan Long, safety, 4-star in the 25 class. And just this short film, what do you see from this young man just watching this short piece of film, Left?
Well, obviously, the first thing is location. They're in a nice part of the world where you can find nice, talented tackles, and it makes sense. It's a pool of tackles out there. So location tells me a lot. It tells me we on the right track and we in the right space to recruit. So that's checkbox number one. Number two, the fact that he looks athletic and has length. I think that's just a characteristic of Notre Dame tackle recruits. They may look a little slender, like they post up in basketball a little bit. Like he gets 20 and 10 on a regular Friday night or something for high school basketball. And I like the way he moves. So yeah, one thing you can always add is weight to his frame. He's got a Leon Eichenberg type of frame, where he's tall, but he's slender enough to where you like, okay, I can see some LBs we can add to different parts of your body. Like if we just had to make a player, build a player, he's definitely got all the frame to add to it. I love his athleticism. Is that 56 he was wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Sound like good old 56 we had in Quentin Nelson. So if he's anything like that, I know we in a good spot.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. So it's an addition. I remember I told people, man, by the time we get to the blue and gold game, it is quite possible that Notre Dame could have up to 20 commits in the 25 class, and I'll put the floor at 18. I mean,
that's dropping off what, 7-8 commits?
Yeah. And they're still being ultra aggressive, man. We went through the list of visitors for spring and also the official visit list that is piling up. And you still have the linebackers, Marco, Christian, Owusu Boateng. You still waiting on them to set official visits. Notre Dame.
The thing too is, okay, so I know we have more offers out than commits, but what happens if we get 26 and then Owusu Boateng wants to commit? Are we telling guys, all right, we pulling back?
Well, talking about the commitment, right, of MATTY Augustine, there is a young man that's going to be visiting Notre Dame. Notre Dame already has 3 tackles in the class, 3 offensive linemen. They strategically went after tackles in this 25 class. And there's one more tackle because they have Will Black, Owen Strebick, and now MATTY Augustine in the class. However, there's another young man that plays the offensive tackle position that's going to be visiting Notre Dame coming up in the month of April. It should be interesting, Left. It should be interesting to see.
But the next question is, does Deuce Knight have all these guys' numbers? That's the question.
Well, Deuce Knight was the first one to tweet out that he was well protected this morning after the commitment was announced.
Well protected, well recruited. That's for sure.
So yes, for those out there that might be trying to sell the story that, oh yeah, we're not sure if Deuce Knight is happy with the wide receiver recruiting or the recruiting overall.
He
Yeah,
ain't happy with top 5 recruitment by the end of the year. I mean, my goodness, what we trying to split hairs with this kid. That's why they try to start with the Ole Miss recruit. What QB target? How you a QB target? You fully committed, and Ole Miss ain't thinking nothing about Deuce. They just putting that on the radar because he's from Mississippi.
that's when I saw you respond to that, I was like, okay, okay. If Left is responding to this interview, he's upset. But just to go along with what you said, Jack Lang is another offensive tackle that is putting Notre Dame in his top 6. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with that situation. He would be a 4th tackle. Notre Dame didn't plan to take more than 3. But, I mean, they can do what they want to do. They can do what they want to do. If they want to take a 4th, if they want to be greedy.
As long as we can stay in the driver's seat of our own recruitment and not have situations like a Justin Scott, I think they'll just fall in place right where they should be, just because Notre Dame sells itself to a certain extent. Marcus Freeman is that turbo nitro oxide, that turbo booster on your car for Need for Speed Tokyo Drift.
Mm-hmm.
He just adds the attachments to make it even better, but the car itself is very sellable. It's Notre Dame.
I agree with that, man. And I look, in this class, especially if you're going to get upwards of 25, 26, I say be greedy. I corner the market. Flat out, you're already O-line you. You're already O-line you. Just corner the market.
Tight end and linebacker you. I'm giving us linebacker.
Okay, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Give that. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, D-Rock Irish, absolutely. Very, very big commitment. Very big commitment. And we want to give a shout out and just a bit of jealousy and envy on our part. But we want to give well wishes to one of our biggest fans, Elizabeth Crook, one of our biggest supporters. We hope that you and your family are having a ball out there in Cape St. Francis, South Africa. I'm sorry. It's been good, Elizabeth. It's 60 degrees in Chicago.
That's right. Hey, you in the motherland, man. Go ahead and get you the nice little cultural garbs and stuff. Take the pictures, give us some postcards for LL Nation.
Heck yeah, man. South Africa has some of the most beautiful beaches, some of the most beautiful scenery. And
how was that flight? Yeah, tell us about that flight, Elizabeth. It was that 16 hours to get over there.
And did you my dad had malaria as a kid. So anytime he traveled really internationally doing missionary work, he always had to get a nice set of shots, especially going to Africa. So
a set of shots, which means more than one.
Yeah. So that is something else as well. You have to prepare to make sure you can.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot though. But shit, if it prevents catching malaria, I guess you got to take it.
You want to come home healthy. Period. Enjoy yourself. But yeah, have a wonderful trip, Elizabeth, to you and your family, man. Well wishes to you and safe travel on your way back home. Lucky Lefty podcast. Also, what's hot for Notre Dame? They have a new linebacker coach left. We kind of knew this was coming, but yes, Max Bullough, who was originally or previously the GA for the linebackers, has been elevated and promoted to linebacker coach at the University of Notre Dame.
Michigan State, right?
Yeah, 2014 graduate.
During Marcus Freeman's time.
Yes, he definitely.
Right.
No.
Max Bullough sounds so familiar.
He's after Marcus. Marcus came right before him. Freeman was like, 2007, 8?
2005.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying 2007 is when he lost to Illinois and Juice Williams. That's how I bookmark Marcus Freeman.
Oh yeah, that's the starting point, and then you can get everything dated
Bro,
off
I
that.
promise you, if we ever get Marcus Freeman on this show, I'm telling you, I'm hitting him with that game, bro. He might get mad at me.
Hey, I can't lie. I was a big Juice Williams fan too. I ain't gonna hold you. That's when they beat him in the horseshoe. That was that night game. Wasn't it? It was the night game with Troy Smith and Juice. You talking about classic QBs now.
Yeah. So he was a GA for Alabama. Before coming to Notre Dame as a GA, all of his GA years were being used up, coming to an end. He did a great job. I remember telling everybody in the spring that someone is respected when certain players are turned over to him. And when I tell you, Drake Bowen and Jaden Ausberry were literally, he coached all the linebackers, but he coached Drake Bowen and Jaden Ausberry super
Like
hard.
those were his
bro.
babies. Like.
He did not coddle those dudes. And that was the one thing that jumped out to me in last spring. As we sit 2 weeks away from the opening of spring practice, Max Bullough would do something, and how this is how I'll explain it and why it jumped out to me. You know how you make a mistake as a freshman in a drill?
Yeah.
But you're getting coached as you get back in line, right?
Yeah.
Max Bullough
coaching pointers.
Max Bullough would stop the line and make them get back to the front of the line.
Yeah, there we go.
Do it again.
Yeah. He said, we're not letting that one slide. Go ahead, go again.
No. And it was constant. And I was like, yo. But then when they got into scrimmages, you could see them implementing it. Because I said last year, and people were like, I was like, yo, the most natural linebackers on the Notre Dame roster was the same. Remember I said Kenny Minchie has the best arm in the program?
Yeah, but you said the freshman linebackers were the biggest almost.
I said, dude, they were the most instinctive and natural linebackers that Notre Dame had. It was easy to see when they played.
And we had J.D. Bertrand and Maris out there.
Them coming downhill, them getting themselves small enough to get through the cracks and get into the backfield. They were so instinctive. But we're going to hear from some Notre Dame players. And we're going to hear from Kingston and Bryce Young in the second half of the show. And listen to Kingston talk about how much responsibility exists in that linebacker room. And that's what I try to tell people. They're like, oh, Kingston, he's talented enough to come in and start. I'm like, bro, the linebacker position in Al Golden's defense.
Yeah, you gotta know your ish. And it's the same as quarterback. It's like, yeah, CJ Carr can probably come in right now and give us 6 completions, do some good things, but operating the whole offense, he needs some time. Shit, he needs to have some time.
Lucky Lefty podcast. We're also going to talk about in a few minutes. Nicole Arbach put up a fabulous story about the powers that be meeting about the college football playoff and what's going to happen coming out of these meetings. We talked about it about a month ago, Left, the 6-6 format versus the 5-7 format and who gets the automatic bids. We know Notre Dame is locked in to only being able to get to the 5th spot. That stuff will come out. But more than that, I don't know if people know that the current format is only good for 2 years. After 2 years, it could expand beyond 12 teams. It could slim down to 8 teams. It could be slimmed down to 8 teams. We'll see.
Crazy.
But going into this meeting, what was interesting is that the Big Ten and the SEC joined together. And this is the dangerous part of this. We'll get into it, Left. They're coming into this meeting as power brokers, trying to be the bullies. Because the Big Ten, let me tell you what the Big Ten and the SEC want without saying it. They both want 3 guaranteed spots. So basically, they want half the field.
3
They want
no matter what. Yeah.
They want half of the playoff to be Big Ten and SEC.
Money wise, that makes sense. I mean, hell, they should be half of the playoff, but they just want guaranteed spots. But I think that makes it complicated because you have to get rid of these conference championship games in. Or do conference championship games even mean, especially if you expand it past 12 teams, you can't have conferences damn near. You either got to have AFC, NFC type of division splits, only because you have way too many teams in college football, and then the randomness of it is going to be hard to sit there and decide conference winners and then put that as an automatic playoff bid. It should just be more open at that point.
Yeah, but Nicole Arbach had an incredible article over on The Athletic, and I'll read this piece. $7 billion ESPN has paid for the rights to the college football playoff, $7.8 billion, and that extends through the 31-32 season, which sounds crazy. 31-32, man. The CFP and the presidents have not yet agreed on any aspects of the format beyond the 12-team model in place for the next 2 seasons. So that's why today's meeting is very important. The current format is only locked in for the next 2 seasons. And that within itself,
this could be a runaway train like the NIL business. I mean, my goodness.
And it's very uncomfortable for ESPN as the service provider per se, or the producer of the college football playoff, because, you know, these things are planned out years in advance. Like the 2 years, I'm sure, are already planned out. So ESPN,
with the super merger of
absolutely,
ESPN and Disney and Hulu, it's forming into a monopoly. Eventually, it's going to be TV deals are running the conferences. They're going to be like, we don't need an NCAA. All the money these players and schools getting come from these billion-dollar TV deals. We'll just decipher it as that. Who's the regional partners and stuff. And I think that's where it's turning to, because these streaming services are going to take over these college football programs.
Yeah,
when it
and in her
comes to
story,
content.
yeah, and in her story, she tells us that the meeting is comprised of the board of managers, university presidents, and chancellors who make up the organization's highest governing body, and also the commissioners and Notre Dame leadership. See, I just had to say that for the end. You hear all of that I put? All of that I said? A whole rundown.
Yeah, you gave it all the semantics, but you
board of managers, chancellors, presidents, ADs, all of that.
ADs, directors, managers.
And Notre Dame leadership. So people that worry about Notre Dame, dude, Notre Dame's at the table. Always. And they're meeting in Dallas, and the future of the college football playoff is on the table, man. And ladies and gentlemen, they don't care about the players. They don't care about the teams. They don't care about, the format and securing 6-6, 5-7. Like I said, ultimately the Big Ten and SEC, they want 6 guaranteed spots. That's what they want for their leagues. That's what they want. They're the power brokers. They're the bullies on the block. And that's what they're trying to get. And that's what they're trying to negotiate. That's why they joined together going into these meetings. So it's a great article over on The Athletic. She breaks it down. Progress has to be made. Has to be made, because we go into a dark area where, other alternatives can come to the forefront. Like, could there be no playoff? Could the Big Ten and SEC say, screw it all? We're going to go do our own thing, right? Could this format, or could things get to a point in 3 to 5 years where Notre Dame's back is against the wall and they may be forced to join a conference or form their own conference with other schools? It's a lot that's going to come out of it. A lot. So I think the worst thing that could happen. The worst thing that can happen, in my opinion, is going beyond 12 teams. I just think it's a horrible idea because football, the way football is so physical that you don't have turnaround in the same feel of like opening weekend of March Madness. It's not the same, right? Because it's a lag in between. You have to give teams 7 to 8 days to physically recover. And I know that's the vibe and the money that they're chasing, like the money that's generated, the betting that's generated by the 68 field team and March Madness and the history of it. But you, man, pump your brakes chasing that. Because I don't know if aesthetically, if football can recreate that same thing. I just don't know, right? And like someone said, 16 teams breaks down evenly. They don't want to break it down evenly. They want to give buys to those 4 teams. So 12 makes sense. If you're going to go from 12, you have to go to 20. Because even in 20, now you can still give buys. You can give an extra round, but you can give buys. And this is going to be the debate back and forth. I don't need it. Personally, I don't need it. This is not, say, Liberty. Liberty is not Norfolk State. Like, literally, there is a chance. They're not Bucknell, right? What's the team? The coach for Seton Hall. He just took a team to the Final Four a couple of years ago out of Philly. What was this? Nah. I'm sorry. But that type of run, if that type of run is called Cinderella in basketball, what in the heck would you call it in football? Because George Mason is another. George Mason beat the #1 seeded Connecticut squad. That's a good call. They Wichita State made another run. They were Cinderella. I'm trying to think of some of this. Villanova was part of the Big East. I know it was a Cinderella story, but they are a Power 5 squad. So I'm talking about like non-big conference teams that have made Cinderella runs. Shaka Smart's squads. He used to have Shaheen Holloway. Thank you. St. Joe's. They made their run. Thank you, guys. It is, I just don't see that type of run coming from a Liberty, coming from a Memphis, coming from a Miami, Ohio. In football, it's different, man. VCU back in the day. I don't see it as much. And since I don't see it as much, I just don't see the need for expansion. I don't. Once you get beyond 12 teams, to me, you don't deserve it, man. You don't deserve a shot. You don't. Football is just different. It's just different. So are you going for a playoff that's going to be exciting? Like, I think the NFL adding the extra wild card team was fantastic. And it has shown itself to be beneficial, and it has shown itself to really good games on Super Wild Card Weekend. That worked. Even though it was a money grab, aesthetically, it works. Going to 16, 20 teams, in my opinion, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's still Boise State, Fresno State. It doesn't make me a difference. They're not about to win 4 or 5 games in a row. I don't see it. I just don't. Like, the biggest wins that teams like that had were like bowl games against Oklahoma, where Oklahoma really didn't care, and they were using trick plays on 2-point conversions at the end of the game to win the game. That's not. And that's just one game to get that type of big time win. Stacking wins, 4 or 5 wins, if you expand it to 16 or 20, I just don't see it. I'm not saying it can't happen, right? Because I'm not a soothsayer. Yeah. What I'm telling you is it's not going to happen as often as it has happened in college basketball. It's just not. The percentages for it happening in football are far less than in college basketball. It just are. And yeah, 20. But I mean, that's what they're chasing. Let's be honest, it's about money. Like Super Wild Card Weekend was about money for the NFL, but it had to make sense aesthetically, and it's turned out to be that way for them. Then you add, as we get Left back with us, and Left, we're just talking about the aesthetics of going from 12 teams to 16 or 20. And when do we know that it's too much?
Is that music in the background? Here?
No.
I'm getting the music pickups.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm not playing any music.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I hear it, but if you don't hear it, it's cool. But you're right though. So hold on, it's throwing me off because I want to sing along. Hold on. Yeah, let me come back here.
He said it's throwing them off. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, yo, it's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen. LL question of the day is enough. What's enough? What's enough?
What's enough?
Yeah, how much more? How many more teams can they add before it gets to before it becomes too much? Like?
I think you can only add 16. I mean, we still talking about college athletes and stuff. So if you trying to make it anything bigger than 16, I just feel like you're telling the kids they need to be employees at the university at that point, because that's the only people that's working on the breaks. It's people that's employed by the university. And if you taking away a winter break from a kid, college is hard enough. Hell, Notre Dame's hard enough. And if you don't get no winter break because you're playing football the whole time, and you know you're going to be in the playoffs every year, so you know you're not going to have a break, it'll just make it really tough unless there's a huge incentive for these kids to be able to stay engaged. Because now you're mixing in, okay, guys got to get ready for league prep, guys are trying to keep their bodies safe to get ready for the combine. You extend anything past 16 games, I don't know how you're going to fit a football schedule in there.
Yeah, with the implosion of the Pac-12, that's the need to go from the 6-6, which was the original plan, to the 5 and 7 at-large bids. Look, man, this is dangerous territory, man.
I think it's great to have to be able to randomize the winner and the outcome every season. I think even the best teams, with a Nick Saban-led team, Kirby Smart-led team, it'll be tough even on the best years to go through a gauntlet like that, just considering the fact that so many factors happen in a one-game elimination that it evens out the playing field for a lot of teams.
Well, ultimately, this impacts Notre Dame coming out of this meeting, and we're going to learn a lot. I'm sure Jack Swarbrick is there. I'm sure Pete Bavach was there. I'm sure some other people from the university are there. And I hope they advocate, man. I hope they don't try to play the middle in this situation. I hope they understand that, hey, we're here. Obviously, we're here amongst all of you all because we are the biggest brand in college football. Period. We don't have to join with other people.
From a substantial who moves the chess pieces on the board? That's Notre Dame. The only
Yeah.
other teams that are able to do that are teams that are good as a football team in the moment, right? So Georgia can go in there and shake some stuff up because they're the dominant force right now. We don't have to be the dominant force, and we still telling people what to do, how to go about it. And I think that just shows that the business model that we promote is way more beneficial as a standalone program than anything a conference can do for us, which gives us the leverage that we have. Plus, we're negotiating our own TV and apparel deals. Who can do that?
You know, it's always been one of the cases. And I just hope that the Notre Dame powers that be that are in Dallas stand up. I don't want them to stand up per se, stand up. I don't want them to stand up and specifically fight the SEC and Big Ten. I don't want them to stand up and specifically fight for the little guys in the room. I want them to stand up for Notre Dame. I want them to stand up and say, hey, we already gave up the possibility of being in the top 4, even though we could be one of the best 4 teams. We already gave that up. So we're not going to give up the money. We're not going to give up the revenue. And we're not going to give up anything else that benefits us. We've given up enough.
Enough.
We've given up enough. So, honestly, I'll be honest, Left. If I were Notre Dame and the other teams, I wouldn't even fight the Big Ten and the SEC trying to get 3 teams in.
Really?
From each, I wouldn't because
you
number one,
you don't think it's worth it?
No, my point is the 2 teams that make the Big Ten in the SEC championship game should be in.
Yeah, those are.
If you're in the championship, so that's 4 teams, which means they want.
What's the point of playing that game? That's all. Unless that's considered a playoff game.
The games have always been about money, Left. That's the driving force behind all of this, right? Well,
there wouldn't be a winning incentive if both teams are going to get in. You know, what's the winning incentive? I don't think playoff spots matter at that point.
Well, would you rather win the conference championship to get the first round bye or lose the conference championship and have to play in the first round?
Hell, I would be thinking like LeBron and strategy. Shit, we could be the last seed to get in, or the 7th, or I'm sorry, not the mean teams, or the team before the last to get in because you feel better about playing number 2 seed because your style is better, your matchup's better. If we went into the playoffs as a 5th seed team, I think I like the matchup versus who was it? Michigan early.
No, the first round, if you go in the 5th spot, you get more than likely the non-Power 5 at-large bid team, which would have been Liberty this year. That's your first round opponent.
Okay, so we get like a softball for the first one.
Yeah,
That's a home game too.
Yeah. It's a home game. It will be against that 12 seed, and then you end up facing the 4th seed in the quarterfinals. Which is why I said winning the next championship in Notre Dame is going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard.
100% harder than anything that we've been faced with so far. And what we've been faced with so far, I thought we handled well. We just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah. And John Massey, I'm not saying what I say because I think that's the way it should be. Like, I think you're thinking about the Big Ten in the previous 5 years. The Big Ten has like 4 teams in the top 16. Michigan's a top 16 team. Ohio State's a top 16 team. Oregon's a top 16 team.
How do we
Penn
look
State's a top 16 team. They literally have like 4 to 5 teams in the top 20. This is not your grandfather's Big Ten. This is the 2024 Big Ten.
That's exactly what I'm saying. This is not. We have to look at these conferences totally different.
Yeah.
You looking at USC and UCLA in the Big Ten. That changes the dynamic of how we view the Big Ten right there. because the Big Ten's been built off these Midwest teams,
Mm-hmm.
the tradition, all of that. Now you change the game where regionally is no regional. You nationwide as a Big Ten. So the the fandom I think changes. I think California would start showing respect to Big Ten schools because it's the Big Ten. I mean, I think we've had so much back and forth over what we think of these conferences. Oh, the Big Ten, bunch of slow country boys, no speed. Oh, the SEC, fast, big, and physical. Not a lot of technique, fast, big, and physical. Oh, Big 12, no defense. No defense. So you discount Kyler Murray numbers, Baker Mayfield numbers, Jalen Hurts numbers, because it's the Big 12, they have no defense. Then you go to Pac-12, also no defense, but you got an Oregon that dominates the conference every year. Don't get no respect when they get to these big games because they always get crushed by teams that are bigger than them, i.e. Georgia.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I just went through an entire reading from Nicole Arbach's article and didn't even realize I was on mute. I read it perfectly too, Left. Man, I'm sorry. I didn't look up and see I was on mute. This is from Nicole Arbach's story in The Athletic once again, concerning revenue distribution. And on the topic of revenue distribution, it's safe to assume that leagues will be rewarded both for the number of teams that make the field and for how far those teams advance, much like the payout model for the men's NCAA tournament. One source briefed on that discussion said, how much participation and victories are worth remains unresolved, as is the starting amount allocated to each league. There it is, bro. That dude, they're not going to Dallas to talk about making things comfortable for athletes and teams and
No. It's like the UN meeting. They just trying to figure out how they can take over the world.
Dude, that's what it comes down to. There's nobody trapped down. They could have done a Zoom call to figure out 6-6 and 5-7 for the format.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, please, nobody got on a plane to go to Dallas to sit in a room with a bunch of chancellors, presidents, board managers, and all of that stuff to figure out the format. And you can do that via a Zoom call. We're talking about this money.
They said, how can we squeeze the life money out of this situation?
Heck yeah. We're talking about 6 teams, 3-3, Big Ten, SEC. Not only to secure how much money we get just to make it, but to give ourselves a better shot of making even more money with more teams in it that can advance. I see you, Big Ten, SEC. I see why you joined together. Y'all not slick.
Yeah. They said, oh, ESPN linking up with all these people, we can do the same damn thing.
Yeah. It's like, man, look, money. And see, this is what they don't recognize. Doing all of this that's being reported, the athletes are sitting back waiting for you to come to a decision. That's all they're waiting.
Yeah, they're just waiting to bounce. Bounce.
Yeah. Set the format, set the teams, set the revenue.
It's like you play that game with your family and they know that you're really good at the game, so they're trying to fix the rules before you start.
Absolutely.
A minute, when did we start? You play Monopoly. Oh, when did we start doing that? Now I can't get 200 when I pass go. When we start playing games like that, or you play Tonk. Now you can't Tonk out all of a sudden.
Right.
Why not? Oh, because I be winning. Is that why? Now we got to change the rules. So that's all the NCAA doing. They're trying to say, how can we fix this card game? How can we fix this card game to make sure that the probability works out in our favor? Yeah, they may win some, but let's see how we can dominate this whole thing with either more games, more money getting involved, whatever. But at some point, the crossroads between giving these players what they deserve, you can't avoid it. You can't step over it. You can't expand and get bigger and hope that they just go away. They're trying to take advantage of as much room as you're giving them. And now, because they know you don't have direction, they know you in a panic, they know that you need Notre Dame to help you figure it out, they're like, okay, we're not going to press, because at some point you're going to have to come to this table.
Hey, and that's why I say Notre Dame, don't waste time arguing about them, the Big Ten and the SEC getting 6 teams in. Dude, that's their leverage. That's their leverage. Your leverage is we're Notre Dame. What's up with this money? Because we already gave away our leverage in the format. We already bent to your will in the format and maxing us out at the 5th spot.
Yeah,
we're not giving
our bacon for years about getting the conference, getting the conference. And now we've accepted the playoff rule.
Notre Dame needs to tell them we are our own conference. We represent ourselves. Give us a conference piece of the pie. Don't come to us talking about y'all one team. No, we're not one team. We are an entity. We are the biggest brand up in here. Treat us as such when it comes to this revenue and money, because we know what we drive from a revenue standpoint. That's why I said don't fight the Big Ten and the SEC when it comes to teams. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have teams. You can max us out at the 5th spot, all of that. Let's talk about this money.
That's right. If you watch that Vince Staples Netflix show, it's about the principles. We arguing about the mac and cheese. Not all the other side dishes, because the mac and cheese is the most important. Yeah, y'all can have the cucumber salad. Yeah, y'all can get the spaghetti. Yeah, you can do the vegetable entree, your veggie burgers. But when it comes to that mac and cheese, that's where Notre Dame getting the conversation. Because now we talking about what moves the needle. The mac and cheese sets a family reunion really good or really bad. Because that's what you're going to remember. And we are getting into the conversations where you're going to remember what matters the most. Not these, join the conference, let's split this $1 billion between 10 teams. No. We're going to get our own money. We're going to bring our own mac and cheese, and you're going to be happy with it.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. RG Urban, I disagree. Notre Dame has been at the table for the BCS. Notre Dame has been at the table at the institution of the 14 playoff. Notre Dame is the only individual team at the table. No non-Power 5 teams represented in this room.
2012, we got to the championship because Notre Dame has the influence in the BCS.
Yeah, Notre Dame is a power broker. And they know it. And the one thing Jack Swarbrick has done that I will give him credit for is that he has strategically chosen his battles.
And made us a voice in college football.
He has strategically, over the years, chosen his battles. And as he sits in that room, I hope people vote with Jack Swarbrick and anyone else that's joining them to represent Notre Dame. Choose your battles. There's no need to fight all of that aesthetic stuff of number of teams and all of that. No. What's up with this money?
Because we're
Notre Dame.
Telling you that Notre Dame green is money green.
Be like Big Worm. You messing with my money, Smokey.
That's right. You can't listen. One thing you can't mess with Notre Dame about is that's that bread. And that's that bread. We gonna go hard for that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. When we come back, we're here from Bryce Young and Kingston. Awesome. I think I said it right, because they literally, first question they asked him was, how do you pronounce your name? Kingston Bialamu Awesome. And Bryce Young on the other side. Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know. We spin it different.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
There are times.
PR. Bullough. Here it is. Yeah.
There are times. There are times.
Remember me.
When you need someone, I will be by your side. I take my chances before they pass me by. Oh, darling, there is a light that shines special for you and me. You need to look at the other side. You agree, darling, open
You
up.
left me. Okay. Remember you left me. Yeah.
Yo, Lucky Podcast, Onora Boys back. We had a great time talking about the commitment, 4-star offensive tackle out of Greenwich, Connecticut, MATTY Augustine as the third tackle in the 25 class. What does that mean about Jack Lang? Notre Dame made his top 6. We also talked about Notre Dame and the meetings of the powers that be in college football to discuss the college football playoff and what's going to come of it down in Dallas over the next 2 days. Before we get into Bryce Young and Kingston and what they had to say about their time as early enrollees, and then how we're going to improve. See, yesterday we talked about how to fix the Notre Dame offense. I don't necessarily think that the Notre Dame defense needs to be fixed, but we're just going to talk about certain things that could improve the Notre Dame defense and make it a championship defense. But before that, I was watching a show. It was a terrible, one of the worst Tubi. I've actually watched 2 really good Tubi movies over the weekend. I watched one called Money Lovers. That was actually
Wait. Tubi?
Dude, it was this Tubi movie called Money Lovers that was pretty good. Pretty good. I had to admit. It was, you know what was dope? The script. The script was dope. The story was dope.
Good writers out there. They just ain't
Yeah.
getting
The script was dope. But then I watched another one called The Pass, and it was hard. It was just hard. But it got me
5-star and 1-star back-to-back movies on Tubi.
Yeah, you have to give them all a chance, dude. Right? Because you can always come out of the application. If it's making you fall asleep, just come out of the application. But I watched this movie, and the premise of the movie was just like, couple married for 15 years, it's getting boring. They changed the parameters of their marriage to try and spice it up, whatever. And a pass. They give a pass, right? So they allow their spouse to do something that, they normally wouldn't allow them to do, right? And so I laughed because me and the missus were watching this, and we started laughing because me and the missus, we said, we came to figure out that we actually give each other passes. And we started laughing, right?
I didn't even know it.
Yeah. And see, I have to clarify that because I don't want people thinking I'm like out here living like some poly type of marriage. No, that's not what we're saying. So for clarification, the pass is, people that you're allowed to talk about in a loving way in front of your spouse. Like you get certain passes, right? Yeah. So I have 3 passes.
How most men have to hear from their wives about Marcus Freeman.
Yes.
You just gotta let it rock.
You gotta let it rock. Absolutely. You have to let it rock. That's well said. You have to let it rock.
Don't play hate.
Right. You have to say, I understand. I feel you, right? So one of my passes that's allowed for me is Kelly Rowland.
Really?
Like,
You a Kelly
yeah,
Rowland fan?
yeah, the missus will allow me to express
To
myself.
embellish on Kelly Rowland a little
Yes,
bit.
yes, she allows me to express myself about Kelly Rowland, right? My wife.
That's a good sister right there. That's all. That's all.
Yes.
She's just a good sister.
I'll give you a strange one that my wife has, dude, and I have to deal with it every Wednesday. The Chief from Chicago Fire. Oh my God. Every Wednesday I have to listen to my wife and
Go
give
on
her
going about this actor. You be like, you know, it's a fake chief, right?
and I think it's his voice, dude.
Oh, he got one of them
You
very
know-
white voices. Okay.
Yeah, he's a British actor. He's actually a British actor.
Yeah.
But that's one of her.
Idris Elba's type of play.
Yeah. So, look, this is a true story. This is a true story, dude. My daughter is literally, I don't even know if my daughter, she's just started walking. She might be one. Might be one. No, I think she was one. She's like one on her way to two. We take a family trip out to LA for Disneyland.
Damn, you go to Disneyland or Disney World? You close to there. You close to Disney World.
But we had done Disney World already. So we just wanted to do Orange County, Anaheim, Disneyland, all that.
That's right. That's right.
And me and my wife, we had, before we would go to Oceanside in that area and spend like a week there. So we love Orange County.
Orange County, real nice, man. Real solid over there.
So we've always had this path in our relationship, like the freedom to express. Like my first pass was Angela Bassett. That was my very first pass.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dude.
Hey, you can't.
I'm talking.
Like, what can you say? You know what I mean? It's like let it rock.
Bruh. That's Angela Bassett was my very first pass in our relationship. That she gave me permission to go ahead and express yourself. My wife's first pass, this is funny. My wife's first pass was Lorenz Tate.
Oh, no way. No
Lorenz Tate was her very first.
Okay, I get it. He good. I like the in this stuff.
But that's because Lorenz Tate graduated from Whitney Young High School. He's from Chicago.
He looked like he's from Chicago, don't he?
Yeah. So he always came back to Whitney Young every year. So the students would see him every year. So, imagine as a teenager, old dog comes in the building.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? That was her first pass. I'm like, okay, he went to Whitney Young. But the next pass leans into this story, bro. So her next pass, I don't know if you remember Soul Food, the series. You had Soul Food, the movie, but then you had Soul Food, the series. Her next pass was this guy named Darren DeWitt Henson, who was a choreographer for a lot of groups back in the day, but then he became an actor. Okay. And he played the part of Lim, which was Bird's husband, on Soul Food, the series. So we are on vacation at Roscoe's for lunch, on Gower Street, the one on Gower. That's across the street from CBS.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? So we're all there together as family. We're paying the bill, getting ready to leave. Darren DeWitt Henson walks in.
He walks in. Oh.
He walks into Roscoe's as we're getting ready to leave. My wife has never passed my daughter to me this fast in her life.
No, they hit you with the Usher Boondocks. The Usher.
Bruh, my wife played hot potato with my daughter. Like,
no way. Hit you with that. Oh, that's SHAUN.
And I'm like, and I'm like, okay, it's your pass. Okay. It's your pass.
Yeah, I'm like, I
understand. I understand it's your pass. I'm not even about to trip right now. I took my daughter.
Can't even trip. It is what it is. Okay.
I took my daughter, walked outside.
Yeah, it's a little fast. It's a little fast. It's faster. Yeah. The speed in which it was a little off guard.
Absolutely. Now, like my wife, is gorgeous, bro. My
right.
wife is a dancer by trade.
Okay, so it's just okay. He
So
danced and all that. Okay,
she's a dancer. Her body has always been amazing, dude. So her body, even like after she had our daughter, her body snapped right back.
that's
She
right.
was still dancing for people.
Athletic genes in there.
All of that. So I go outside. I'm standing outside. I'm chilling. You know, she's in there with my sisters.
You know, playing it cool.
Yeah, she's in there with my sisters, this and other, you know, taking pictures, whatever. All right, fine. She comes out, and this dude follows her out. Now that's when the pass gets revoked. So I'm like, okay, fam. I'm being nice.
The pass ran out. It ran out.
Yes, it expired. Right? Because he's outside, you know, he's giving her the eye.
Now
like,
he's yucking it up. He a real cool dude now. All of a
like
sudden.
he wants exchange of information. Like
right.
he's going about it that way. And I'm like, okay, dude. So I walk over to her because he said something to her. I walk over to her and hand my daughter back to her and said, I'm about to go get the truck.
Yeah, I'm about to come get you out of here.
I didn't have to be ignorant with it.
No,
I didn't have to say anything to him.
Don't have to.
Here you go. Here's your daughter. Here's our daughter.
Yeah.
I'm about to go get the truck. I'll be back.
Don't even.
Which she knew in translation of our language. When I pull up,
it's over.
He better not be here.
Yeah, because if I gotta pull up, he's still here. It's a problem.
Yes, because if I pull up and I have to get out, you don't want me to get out.
Yeah, now I gotta make a scene because now
you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. We having fun. You know, we having a good time.
So the past was over. So that's my real life past story. Because usually the past is like you see somebody on TV, you at the movies.
Yeah, it's like you ain't never gonna see him. Whatever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Okay.
No, it's like the real life past. It was funny. It's like a hilarious moment, man. Hilarious vacation moment. We still laugh about it to this day. Man, but yesterday, I threw myself a oop on the past because there was no way for her to know that I needed to talk about my past.
That's right.
So I had watched Kelly Rowland promoting her upcoming movie on Sherry.
Okay.
While she was going to work.
Okay.
She didn't know about that.
Oh, okay.
So I said, man, I'm sitting and waiting, and she messed around and brought up Beyonce.
No, she did.
And she opened the door.
You opened the door. That's automatic Kelly Rowland reference. And
I immediately said, oh, by the way, Kelly Rowland was on Sherry today.
That's right.
And she was like,
flip through TV.
Yeah. And then she was like, oh, she must have been promoting her movie. I was like, yes, she was. Let me tell you what she had on. You know, and before you know it, she's looking at me like, oh, okay. This is your past. This is your past.
It's your Kelly Rowland past.
I'm going to have to sit here and take it. Okay.
That's right. Oh, that's great.
Dude. So, yeah, if you're married, have fun, man. Enjoy each other. Give each other's passes, man. You know, you have some people. You know who just entered the room that I got permission to talk about?
Who?
Cheryl Lee Ralph, bro.
Cheryl Lee Ralph. Where is she from?
She's from, what you mean where's she from? She's out there in LA. Are you kidding me?
Oh, see, I'm missing out. I don't know.
Man, that's the Cheryl Lee Ralph is the mom from Moesha.
Oh, okay.
Man, boy, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
You pulling out classics now.
I'm a classic.
TV, you know, I'm 13, 12, and you know, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
I'm a classic man. I'm a classic. See, I don't do the whole Young Miami, Beyonce. No. Y'all can have that. No,
y'all can have the Young Miami's. Okay.
No. Yeah. See, Nuke Life knows what I'm talking about.
Primetime TV one.
Nuke Life knows what I'm talking about. He said, yes, sir, to Cheryl Lee Ralph. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Let's see. Raymond Harden said his wife's past is Leonidas from 300. Oh, what's the That's the Australian actor. I forget his real name.
It's Gerard Butler.
Yeah, there you go. John Massey said his past is Halle Berry. Okay, John Massey. Left, I don't know exactly where you are right now. I don't know who's around you. Are you allowed to give or say whether or not you have a past?
You know, I think it's a pass that I'm working on the subscription for. You know?
Okay.
You know.
Well enough said.
And I don't mind giving passes, you know, because I understand. If the brother look good, hey, I mean, hell, the brother look good, you know. But I'm okay with it not working both ways. I understand.
Right.
I can look, you know, I have my own thoughts, but it's cool, you know. But when we cross the hall pass mark, I'll say something and then I'll leave it alone, you know.
You like smoky or fried?
That's right.
And Kevin Lee said he got limited access right now. Like I have
That's
thoughts.
okay. But listen, I got the best premium access though. You know what I mean? I got the best premium access. I got the one. So, you know, all of the hall passes is just like going to the museum. You just go, you go visit and then you leave. You know.
See, John Massey. Look, he said I'm still dying from the Usher Boondocks comment by Lefty.
Oh yeah, I'll be so sorry.
John Massey, look, let me tell you something. This is something else, man. It's a great discussion, man. We're gonna get to Kingston and Bryce in a second. Just bear with us, I promise. He said Taylor Rooks, though, my Lord. Now, Taylor Rooks, I booked her several times. She was working for the Big Ten Network before she blew up, and she also went to She also went to the University of Illinois, like I did.
Yep.
So we're fellow alums. I've seen Taylor Rooks in person multiple times. I'm sure Draymond Green's wife had a nice conversation with him when he got home from doing that alt cast during the All-Star game.
Oh man,
that dude did nothing but stare the entire time.
The entire time.
The entire time. That's all he did was stare at Taylor.
Do your job, Draymond.
You see, Taylor Rooks would not see. Taylor Rooks would be someone I would love to express myself about, but I already know her application would be denied. So she has to be a little bit more seasoned before her application can be before her application gets approved.
She have these NBA players folding up and all type of pretzels and stuff. It's like, man, she be melting these NBA players, so I already know.
Man.
She got Jaylen Brown talking about 7 championships. Come on, Jaylen. You gonna win 7? You just because Taylor asked you, now you gonna win all these championships? Okay.
Man, look here, man. Lucky Lefty podcast, dude. That's great. Oh my God. Me and my wife. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a link to something that me and the missus watched. That'll be dope for you and Raven to watch.
That's right.
It'll be super dope.
Man, send it to us, man. We would love that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get to it, Left. Bryce Young, son of Bryant Young, Hall of Famer, former Notre Dame All-American, talking about coming in early, what he's learned from the vets, and how everything is going. This is Bryce Young.
Welcoming, we go out to the field every weekend, work some stuff, work some run technique, pass rush. It's been good. Going through the playbook and all that, getting it adjusted. I love them. It's cool.
Bryce, when you see the competition on the D-line, man, how encouraging is it to see guys that could have gone to the NFL come back and now you get to learn from them at least for 1 year?
Yeah, it's awesome, I think the big thing for me is being able to take everything in, learning from them, being humble, just putting my head down and working with them to accomplish one goal.
So that's Bryce
Starting today.
Yeah.
Starting today. I like it. He's like, I'm working on specific pass rush because I know we ain't getting no sacks around here. And I know how to sack the quarterback. I got a dad that went first round doing it. Put him in the game right now. He said, I'm going to talk football. I'm not talking about no Jesus. I'm not talking about no just getting in and learning the ropes. We working on pass rush. I'm working on these moves. I'm ready to go out there learning from the older guys. That mean he listen. We might have a diamond in the rough with Brian Young. A nice slam dunk.
I like him, Left. I like the fact that he's taking opportunities outside of strength and conditioning to work on technique, getting up to speed.
And you know why he knows that's important? Because he knows that's what's going to take technique. Civiliano?
Sean Civiliano, yeah.
Civiliano don't know that yet. He going in there head, Bullough the China shop. Young coming in there like, okay, I know I need to get this technique if I want to get on the field. The athleticism gonna come. I got that in the gene. I'm working on technique. That's gonna get me out there early. So you see a guy that knows the roadmap. Those are guys that play early and become contributors fast.
Yeah.
You can put them on third down. You know.
Yo, so Kingston, Billy Amu, he talked about his time and why there's so much responsibility in that linebacker room, bro.
It's been really great. It's helped with the transition. Just the terminology is a little different, but some of the defensive concepts I've been introduced to in high school, so that's something that's really helped the transition.
And then you can play 4 or 5 different spots. I guess where are you kind of starting out this spring?
Just anywhere they need me. I'm trying to learn as much as I can and play wherever Coach Golden needs me.
And then have guys like Kaiser and Drake kind of taking you under their wing so far?
Yeah, it's been great having older guys. They've been real welcoming to me into the room. But yeah, picking off their brains, whatever I can learn, just being a sponge right now.
What have you been able to learn about the culture, not just Notre Dame, but just in your position group, what it means to, kind of uphold the Notre Dame linebacker room?
Yeah, it's a lot of love, it's a lot of responsibility, but, I love it. Holding me accountable in the weight room with my classes. Really expect the best out of me on the field and at school.
Get you a nice oos in the room, man. I love the attitude. Clearly, he's played at a high level of competition, put himself in a position where, he's played at that expectation. So coming here wouldn't be a huge transition for him. Love the fact that he's trying to get into the older players, pick their brains, and be available. He knows he's going to have to play 15 different things anyway. So trying to take in everything. Hopefully they get him in nice and slow. Be able to have him make plays early in positions we don't have to think much, because I do think he has a lot of ability and fearlessness, which matters as a young guy. Something that we loved Jalen Sneed for, just being fast and furious. And so I think that, he's a perfect fit for what we already have shown that we can work with the type of players he is. And it's super exciting to see him get on the field, man. Hopefully, it's getting a crowded room now. It's a crowded room in that linebacker. Different than the running back room.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's the running back room crowded, but it's a okay, I understand that. The linebacker room is like, who can we roll out there? Because I'm excited about all of them, and it's not getting any easier with the recruitment being strong.
I'm interested in seeing how fast he becomes knowledgeable, because there's so much accountability at that linebacker, specifically the middle linebacker position in this defense. Drake Bowen was known as a fast learner, but talk about not just learning, but gaining the trust of Al Golden, because those are two totally different things. Left. It's one thing to learn, know the playbook, but what has to be done for KVA to gain the trust of Al Golden?
Well, you just gotta be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes that it kind of happens naturally, where you just notice a player in practice. He may just be doing his job, but the way he goes about it, the way it just the times out, he just makes a huge interception or makes a huge play. It's stuff that stands out when you're being consistent. So for a guy that's played at a place like Bosco's, won and been in all type of arenas and spaces, he is more comfortable being able to make a play in the moment. A lot of times when you get these good players, you're looking for the guys to separate themselves in these special moments. I think he's one of the more equipped guys coming in, being at where he was and playing at the expectation that he was supposed to come in and make an impact early when it comes to making Kyle Hamilton type of plays as a freshman. Just, it's like Kyle Hamilton was doing his job, but it was just something about what Kyle Hamilton was doing. I could just think of the first time against Purdue where he got the 2 picks in the game as a rookie or as a true freshman. And you're just like, damn, how does that happen? Think about a guy like Ben Morrison. He's just at the right place at the right time. 2 picks against Clemson, his career takes off from there. So he can be one of those type of players. He has the right mentality. He's been at the right stages to get prepared. It's just a matter of that who's pulling the trigger on this depth chart for linebackers.
Isn't that similar to what we saw from Xavier Watts? 2 interceptions against USC, and all of a sudden his season and his stock rises, and his career takes off. It's amazing how those things happen.
Yeah, but it can only happen too when everything else is working. Hell, you got a first-round corner giving you the best opportunities with tip passes and great defense, allowing you to be where you're supposed to be, right? You got a defense that's getting enough pressure where the quarterback's making decisions like that. So everybody plays their part. It's just when you get an opportunity to make those plays, we saw DJ Brown not make them, drop the 2 picks against Ohio State that could have changed the outcome of the program, essentially. And then you see guys like Xavier Watts make those plays versus Clemson. It wasn't enough to win, but it was enough to keep us in the game to win.
You're powerful, Lucky Lefty podcast. So let's talk about improving this defense. Left, what stands out to me that needs to improve, we always talk about, and they're doing a great job with guys like Shaun Sevillano Jr., Davion Dixon in the 25 class, and they're still going after more big defensive linemen. But we've talked about getting those big dudes in the middle of this defensive line, right? Which plays into the next thing. You have to be able to stop the run consistently to win a championship. You don't have to be spectacular. You don't have to be all-time great. But that bar is usually 100 yards per game. If you can get to 100 yards per game or beneath as a defense, you're a pretty good job. What hurt Notre Dame last year were teams that were able to get big runs, like Louisville in that game and Clemson with Maffa. Teams that were able to run the ball could score on Notre Dame. And once you got out in front with Notre Dame, with the inconsistency of the offense in big games against big teams or better teams, you saw what happened. Notre Dame has to be able to do that. How did Duke start moving on offense? Because they definitely couldn't move the ball through the air against Notre Dame. Riley Leonard and the run game.
Yep.
Riley Leonard and the run game is how they started to attack Notre Dame's defense. If you
be an equalizer to a team that pressures like we do is to run right at us, and it kind of gives us a different psychology because we're so used to trying to attack. Now they're attacking us, and we have to respond differently. So that changes through recruitment because I think we got enough young guys where they're looking for that friction. They're looking for that young contact. As these older players, Maris and JD and them guys, they like, let me try to make the tackle, but the right way. Let me try to get their legs or something. You got guys like KVA, guys like Osbury and all these guys, Bowen. These guys are coming downhill, filling the gap.
Left, man, look. It is one of the biggest things that Notre Dame needs to take a step forward. And the return of Riley Mills and Howard Cross, by all means, you love the veteran leadership. I don't know how that plays into the defense up the middle, protecting the young linebackers and allowing them to run side to side and make plays, or to get in between the cracks, be instinctive and get tackles for loss. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, guys like David Rubio, Johnson.
That's what I'm thinking. We got this schedule that's palatable for all different flavors and sizes. If you got a house full of 10 kids, they all want to eat something different. Our schedule gives us the ability to feed everybody. We golden corral with the schedule. Oh, you want meatloaf? We got some meatloaf. That's what's gonna get you better. We got a game for that. We got Purdue. Oh, you just like tilapia? Oh, we got Louisville on the schedule. You get better in that game. You go get what you want. So for us, it's not something that we have guys that are going to be unprepared. All these guys can get experience and get better in these games because we're supposed to win them. So this is the benefit of having a schedule like this, is that these young guys can flash early, get confidence early. We're going to be up. I'm expecting us to be up in a lot of these games. So you get Alabama 2012, you get the first half for the starters, then the second half are like the 1B starters.
Yeah, well, that's what Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman said they wanted. 1A, 1B. They don't want 1s and 2s. They want 1A and 1B when it comes to the depth chart. I think these young linebackers have to be playmakers, Left.
Oh, yeah. We
heard about them.
Manti type of guy.
We've heard about them. The buzz has been there. The opportunity is here. Jalen Sneed has to be a chess piece. He has to make plays. Drake Bowen just needs to be. I just need Drake Bowen to lead the defense. Just be that guy. Be that guy. Be a more athletic, a more playmaking JD Bertrand. That's it. Jay Nosberry.
I was gonna say a better Joe Schmidt.
You talking about pre-injury Joe Schmidt?
Well, more like the intangibles. He's the communicator of the defense.
Yeah, but I think Joe Schmidt, before his ankle injury, Joe Schmidt was a pretty good player.
No, yeah, Joe Schmidt not bad. No. I'm not talking about him being like not talented. I'm just saying the importance to the defense. Drake Bowen was important to the defense.
And Drake, shout out to you, man. I saw him showing his speed on the baseball field this weekend. As the Notre Dame baseball team got a sweep down at Rice. It was good to see him on the baseball field. So if you question his speed, go watch the clip.
I got Jaden Osbury too, as a more talented Niles Morgan. Very aggressive, very much a box player. But I like how he moves side to side. He's not a Jalen side to side, but he moves well and he's gonna come down here. So that weak side, I think he's playing weak side linebacker, right?
Yes.
He should be locking that run game up. That's where he's gonna become important.
That's where the TFLs should come from.
That Tavon Coney type of weak side, a little middle, you holding down that fort. Because you got you're probably gonna be playing on the side of Ben Morrison because he's gonna be the boundary corner, I'm assuming. Field corner is gonna be hopefully Christian Gray. I think Christian Gray's long enough, and he's right where he should be to take that experience on the field side. But the corner position I think is very in a sound place because of our all-star Mike Mickens. So
well, they might keep Ben to the field because Christian pretty much replaced Cam when he did come in. Well, no, he came in for both. Yeah, Christian played both. Yeah, but Christian being the bigger body probably would end up in the boundary as the bigger body.
So it's spelling good for combinations, like Drake says. It would be great for the guys to be able to not feel like 1s and 2s, but the rotation, somebody's going to have to be that one, though, at the same time. It happens naturally. You saw it in the running back room. Aldridge became the 1. We saw it happen in the receiving room a little forced, but we saw Rico become the 1. So, yeah, everybody's getting in and all that. But when the rubber meets the road, we need that 1 to be the guy we're going to more often.
Now, I envision, I've said this, I think Al Golden and his system is very similar to Steve Spagnuolo, to whereas Steve Spagnuolo kind of works back to front in his philosophy to whereas if he can get one or two guys that can pressure the quarterback, he really likes to stay in nickel and likes to handle the run via nickel. And it's all about keeping the safeties back, preventing the big plays, just like Al Golden. Blitzing the linebackers, being aggressive with those. Every now and then you get a cat blitz from a cornerback. Because Al Golden's first year, he was blitz crazy, bro. He was blitzing from like 20 yards. Like, man, what are you doing? It's 3rd and 11. Like, blitz the cornerback or blitz the slot. How you blitzing the safety from 20 yards away? And I think now his system and the players learning it. I think we're going to see more efficient blitzes. Better athletes on the field mean better blitzes and actually getting home and not just running straight into the offensive lineman. But then the coverage on the back end, similar to Spags, once he has great coverage on the back end, that really opens up everything else. And coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we can get, like we talked about yesterday, if we can get that front four pressure, we'll be in business. We'll be in business.
Yeah, I agree. Lucky Lefty podcast, another youngster that got a chance to speak to the media was Cole Mullins, who missed his entire senior season. And he talked about how he is being used and trained as an early enrollee to get ready to make an impact for the Notre Dame defense.
Well, I'm learning both Viper and DN right now, like both the formations, everything I need to know. So they're going to start me off at Viper and just see what I transition to from there. So.
Like in the past, Notre Dame's been known to transition a lot of linebackers to Viper. Like, what do you think about your skill set? Just transitions well to that position.
I mean, I'm confident I could do what they tell me, what they need me to do. So I feel like whatever they need me to do, I'll do it at Viper and whatever they want.
And then, like, where are you at as far as health with your ankle and foot? Are you at full strength, being able to run and things again? Do you feel confident in doing some of those things after suffering the injury?
Well, I'm still trying to gain confidence back in the foot, obviously, but I'm doing all the workouts, all the lifting, full weight. So I would say I'm almost 100%, but I should be good by spring ball.
What do you think, Lef? Young man, defensive line, Viper. I like the multiple ways he can be used in the defense.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's one of.
Looking for.
I think he's going to be like Josh Burnham. Like Josh Burnham, I think probably was middle of the pack when he was rated with his incoming class. And then I just happened to go to a spring practice and was watching like drills on the second field. Like everybody else was on the stands on the first field, and I just happened to be standing in the end zone watching drills on the second field. And I'm like, yo, this Josh Burnham kid has a quick first step. Like, dude. And he was still skinny. Because he put on weight like crazy. And I'm wondering whether or not that impacted
I'm like, he's looking a little thin. So that's probably why they moved him out to Viper. They're like, you're probably not the guy to be facing that heavy run outside zone every time.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward.
Hopefully, he can be an instinctual player, using his unique size to be able to be usable in coverage or usable as a dropout guy or something.
Yeah, I agree. So what's the next step left? We talked about the D-line. We talked about the linebackers. This back end, you have Benjamin Morrison, Xavier Watts, the youngsters, Ben Minich. He's been dealing with injuries. I'm looking forward to see how healthy he can stay, and that's Lauren Lando. Like, getting this kid to be healthy. Like, can you do that? You talked about Jay Mickey. You talked about Christian Gray. Micah Bell working in the slot. There's talent there. You're going to have to infuse some youth. But it's funny, as long as the youth can make the plays available to them, Like, you don't have to be superstars, but when the plays are there, make them. Like you said, DJ Brown literally could have changed himself into a drafted safety.
Into a draftable safety. Change your life.
If he had just made the available plays.
And it's only, and you know, you're going to get opportunities. You had 2 to change your life. They would have looked at you totally different. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to get to the league, but you would have been, you know, more leverage. Hell, they would have been playing that on the Mike Mayock, or who is that? Mike Mayock be playing on the highlights, man, when you're getting called the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know what I'm saying?
So with those 3 things, at those 3 levels, we feel like Notre Dame's defense can improve greatly. As we said, the analysts.
If we get those heavy set bodies in that front 4, and we also get those linebackers to be fast and furious, lockdown coverage is solidified at that safety spot with Captain Mike Mickens out there holding it down the fort. It's just so much success we can have because we have the depth. We got our Tyson Fords still in the mix. I've always been a big fan of Tyson Ford. He's just so big.
Man, I just got a text from my mom. I request prayers. I just lost one of my my younger cousins, man.
Damn. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, it's tough. Lucky Lefty podcast. Life is short, man. Life is short. All right, Left. Great show, man. Great insight. Everybody, as always, you kept the chat lit. Don't forget patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network for the real Deuce Night interview. The only real Deuce Night interview, parts 1 and 2, right up there now. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. YouTube, subscribe, share, hit the like button, and then, you know, shop with us right under our videos on YouTube. It's our merch shop. And then Patreon, sign up, man. Sign up. Can't wait to drop this week's episode of Reverse Spin, and also this week's episode of Three's Company. And then Oscar McBride and his show coming to the network soon, along with Cam McDaniel. Lucky Lefty podcast. Forever committed to spinning it different. Left, you know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No. What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by Onora Whiskey at OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Left, I'm going to be petty and put my boy Anthony Rendon on the penny train, third baseman.
Okay.
In Major League Baseball. Here you go, Left.
Top priority for you?
That's never been a top priority for me. This is a job. So I do this to make a living. My faith, my family come first before this job. So if those things come before it, I'm leaving.
Is it a priority?
Oh, it's a priority for sure. This is my job. I'm here, aren't I?
Do you want to be here?
I don't want to talk to you guys at 7 in the morning or whatever time it is. So.
Do you want to like be here playing baseball?
I have answered your question. So why do you keep picking at it?
Oh, yeah, you technically answered it.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, Anthony, you kind of opened the door for the line of questioning.
Absolutely, because why are you so matter-of-fact?
Yo, how do you feel about athletes? Now, I understand what he was saying, right? Like, dude, yes, families first. It's that, but Dude.
You're a professional athlete in this space.
Yes.
That's all very easily taken out of context because we know that you've worked your whole life to do this.
Yes.
So don't start using that as the excuse for trying to cop out. It's like, obviously, hell, the reporter asking you the question don't want to be there at 7 either.
Fact.
He got a family just like you got a family. You know, it's you saying these things as if it's new. It just puts off a different vibe as a professional athlete because you getting paid so much. Your what you getting paid is public, knowledge. So to be getting paid that much and have such a, oh, this is a whatever type of attitude, it just not as a professional athlete. I feel like doing that and then doing the whole, oh, I got these mental health issues I gotta take care of, and you the quarterback of the star best team in the league. It's like, come on. Some things you just gotta hold a position of strength in. If you're a professional athlete, it's just a perception of strength you have to maintain, or you're gonna leave the door open, like you said, for a bunch of stuff that's like, we gotta question if you even want to play. And whenever that happens, it ain't going well.
Man, look, Anthony Rendon.
LeBron will just lie. He just
Facts.
LeBron, like, I'm in this to the end. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna say what I need to.
Man, look, Anthony Rendon, man, I love you as a player, but my dude, no one wants to hear this is just a job. Read the room, man. Read the room.
Yeah.
No one wants to feel like you're just out there, just, oh man.
Oh man, people betting, people doing all type of investing in you. You said, "Oh, if I gotta leave because my family called me, I'll leave." So if Jesus called you, gonna leave? You gonna tell people that Jesus called you to leave? Come on now,
bro. You got 7 years at 245.
Ooh, yeah, nobody trying to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear. It's just a job.
I'm here, aren't I? Come on, man.
No,
you making 240 million talking about I'm here, aren't I?
I'm here, aren't I? What?
No. I'm not even the one signing your check, and I don't want to hear that.
It's the bottom of the ninth, first and third, 2 outs. You down, you tied up or down a run, and you strike out, and all I'm gonna think about is, well, it's just a job to him. He doesn't care.
I'm just here because I gotta be. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just a job for me. I don't care if we win or lose. Means nothing to me.
I don't care.
The check still cashes. Really? No, fam. No. That's not. That's not.
Talking about I answered your question. No, you didn't, bro.
No.
No. That's why the dude said technically you gave an answer, but you didn't answer the question.
Like, dude, honestly, he was doing you a favor. He was giving you a chance to really clarify what you said because he knew what you said was dumb.
Lead to something written about you.
Absolutely.
He was like, "You mean you want to be here, right? Like, what you saying?"
Like, do you really want me to write this up? You really want me to quote you on this?
Put it out there now, or you want to put some more context on it?
Right.
You about to have people up in arms and getting me all in the papers.
Exactly. This dude talking about, I'm here, aren't I?
Like what? That's the headliner. I'm here, aren't I? After striking bottom of the ninth.
Pay me $245. No, I'll be the happy. What's up, dog?
Yeah,
what y'all want to talk about this morning?
Let's chat.
Y'all want to talk about that All-Star game? Oh, wait a minute. Y'all want to talk about Russia, Ukraine? What you want to talk about?
Treat me like
well-versed on everything.
All types of stuff. Ask me whatever you need to.
We can talk about every single thing.
We can talk about politics, National Geographic,
everything. Did you hear about that lion that just ate old boy that walked to his domain at the zoo the other day? Let's talk about that.
On Petty Train, you know what I'm saying? We can do whatever you want. We can shoot a podcast, $240 million? Come on, man. And you get to strike out. That's the crazy part. You get to strike out and have a say so.
This dude talk about his family. 245 million. My wife would kick me out every morning.
Yeah.
Go to work. Are you supposed to be at work?
Bro. Go to work, bro.
What you doing here?
Yeah, I know you're not sitting in here.
Right.
That 240 million in the locker room.
Should you be there early to get some extra practice in?
Yeah, yeah. You need me to go out there and catch for you?
Right.
I go out there and catch for you, but we definitely don't put me in there and act like I'm finna pull you away from the 240 million. She need to have a response, like Monique and her son. Put out a response. Say, hey, actually, family is important, but I'm promoting the 240. I'm encouraging him to get the hit. Don't let him put it on me. Don't let him put it on the babies. The babies want to see him on TV, running around bases. Not, I'll find somebody.
See, this is the problem. And see, this lets me know that he really feels that way. His last season with the Nationals. Now, they're going to give you his last 3 seasons with the Nationals, left. 2017, he had 301, 100 RBIs. 2018, he hit 308 with 92 RBIs. 2019, he hit 319 with 126 RBIs, which you like to hit. So, and then he got the big contract from the Angels out there in LA. See, LA might be the problem. The fact he's out there in California, that might be part of the problem. He's no longer on the East Coast.
Weather.
Yeah, he out there in that good weather. So he gets the 7-year 245. This is what he's done since that contract. 286, 31 RBIs in 2020. 240 with 34 RBIs in 2021. 229 batting average with 24 RBIs. And then 2023, he had 236 with 22 RBIs. In the last 4 years left, this man has played a total of 91 games in 4 years, getting paid 7 years for 245. Now I understand why he said what he just said. He don't want to play.
Why you bothering me? I'm stealing over here.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. But see, the scary thing is the don't care attitude and not loving the game is spreading like wildfire across all professional sports, bro.
Well, basketball, for sure.
Basketball, for sure. It's hard for that to exist. That attitude really doesn't exist in the NFL, right? Because it's so hard.
No. Because it's so hard to stay around. You damn near grateful to get on the
Man. I hope it doesn't creep into college football with this NIL, bro.
But these basketball dudes, they they fat cat off of, they like, if I don't make, I'm gonna just go to Turkey or Slovakia and make some. So it's like, man, they got options. You
know what the problem is?
Basketball.
You know what the problem is, left? Guaranteed contracts. Guaranteed contracts in baseball, guaranteed contracts in the NBA. Anthony Rendon's life is guaranteed. He's good. He doesn't have to produce anything. He doesn't have to prove himself. You only wish to prove yourself when you love the game and you love to compete. He doesn't want to compete. That dude wants to be at home eating ice cream with his wife, sitting up watching episodes of 48 Hours.
That's right. But talk to me, Sean. You got 240 million coming in no matter what. What you thinking?
I'm still a dog. I still want to win a championship. I still want to hit 300. I still want to be viewed as one of the top players. That's still in me, left. That I don't need 245 to want that.
I believe that he felt the same way until he saw that check cleared.
And he got out to LA.
And then he hit you with the, and I ain't gotta play, and I'm in LA. I ain't gotta play because I'm in LA.
But see, then he went to a team that has not been competitive. and hasn't won anything. So there's no competitive culture. So he didn't.
Once you come out here and get some of that acai bowls, and you try one of them, and you try one of them green meals.
Look, LL Nation SD2 mics is not changing.
Okay.
I'm not changing.
Okay, you're gonna be like, man, I can wear these seasonal polos all year round.
Only thing that might change, my complexion might be a little bit more chocolate because I might be in a little bit more sun. That's about it.
Okay, I'm telling you.
That's about it.
You're gonna be like, Left, I just found this country club, man. Listen. They got this golfing. I ain't never heard of this. Oh yeah. You're gonna be looking like Brian Kelly soon. You're gonna be like, dang, it is a far way to South Bend for a spring practice.
Boy, you crazy. Lucky Podcast. Thank you to everybody that joined us today. Don't forget patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Go tap in right now. $10 a month gives you great content outside of Lucky Lefty Podcast, like my practice report, my immediate reaction from the March 7th spring practice. The first practice will be exclusively over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty
You're
Network.
gonna have more practice highlights than Irish Illustrated, ain't you? You just not gonna show Ben Morris.
No, getting burnt and cooked. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But Left,
he gonna hear about it now. He gonna have to embarrass them young receivers now. He gonna know.
Yo, that cat Benji lined them cats up the next practice one by one. Come on.
That's right.
Come on. That's what we doing. Hey, y'all getting this? Y'all recording this?
Don't make
one of the greatest things I saw.
Don't make him prove a point.
Hey, have a great Tuesday. Most of all, make sure that you continue to spin it different.